What's up, guys? Got another UFC video here today. It's going to be on the UFC on Fox 22 card, VanZant versus Waterson. So let's go ahead and continue where we left off. Last video I made on this card was on the Fight Pass Prelims, which is already posted. You guys can check out those picks on that separate video, which you should find on my channel. But anyways, this video is going to be about the FS1 Prelims and the Fox main card. I'm going to go through these pretty quick. So let's go ahead and get started here right away. Leslie Smith versus Irene Aldana. My pick here, guys, is Aldana. I think she's a lot more sharper on the feet. Has obviously more power. Just a sharper boxer here. On the ground, she also has some submissions. I think she has 1 or 2 submissions. Either way, I just feel she's the more well-rounded fighter here. Leslie Smith here has a lot of toughness. Also has some, some good boxing, and good, good striking output. But it just seems like she just really relies on toughness to try to win fights. And I feel Aldana's just going to be a little bit too technical, a little bit too skilled, a little bit too fast. Pretty much just, like I said, be the overall better fighter. So I think Aldana wins this fight. I'm not really too sure if she gets a finish here, but she should land a ton of strikes. This fight should be a pretty fun fight. I think it's going to be a nice stand and bang type of fight. Except Aldana's going to be a lot more defensive, using her footwork and her head movement to avoid a lot of shots, whereas Smith is going to take a lot of shots. If you guys see her significant strikes absorbed right there, she absorbs almost 9 strikes per minute, so that's pretty crazy there if you think about it. So yeah, she pretty much has no striking defense, and I could see Aldana, being the sharper boxer, pretty much putting on a little boxing clinic here. So yeah, I like Aldana here. You never know. She could get maybe an early quick finish, or maybe a third round finish. So yeah, but I think Aldana wins more than likely by decision. Next fight, Josh Emmett versus Scott Holtzman. Both these guys are a little bit similar, but I think Josh Emmett's just going to be a little bit more well-rounded. Haven't seen too much footage from both of these guys, but I think Josh Emmett here, fighting in his hometown, should give him a little bit of an advantage. Also, in his last fight, he didn't look that bad against John Tuck. He has good wrestling also. He could take the fight down to the ground. His striking doesn't look too bad. So yeah, I'm liking Josh Emmett here. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and pick Josh Emmett here. And not too sure if he gets a finish here, but he could. So I'm going to go ahead and say Josh Emmett decision. Next fight, we got James Muntazri versus Alex Morono. I'm going to go ahead and pick Muntazri here. I really like this guy's striking style. Really good kicks. Pretty flashy. He has that taekwondo background. Morono here is kind of just a brawler. Seems to be okay everywhere, but I think on the feet, Muntazri is going to have the advantage by a lot. Also, I don't think Alex has the takedowns to take Muntazri down, which is where Muntazri pretty much struggles in his fights and how he loses. So on the feet, if it stays on the feet, pretty much it's going to be Muntazri all day. Yeah, so I'm liking Muntazri here, and I think he might be able to get a finish here, maybe a third round knockout. So I'm going to say Muntazri, third round knockout. Next fight, we got Brian Barbarina versus Colby Covington. Barbarina is beating all these up and comers, but now he's going to fight Colby Covington here, who's a really good wrestler, and Barbarina has struggled against wrestlers a little bit. And I just feel like Barbarina kind of just outlasts his opponents, and I feel he's not gonna be able to do that against Covington here. Covington has really good cardio, and obviously his wrestling is really good. Always takes people down, always on that grind, and I feel Covington's gonna be able to get this win here, guys. Unless Barbarina can stuff the takedowns, but I just don't really see that happening. So I think Covington should be able to win this fight. It's more than likely going to be a decision because Barbarina seems pretty durable. or maybe it could be another late finish for Covington, because this guy's always getting third round finishes, mostly by submission. So could be a third round finish, or it could be a decision. But I think Covington's gonna land a lot of takedowns. Just, you know, pressure Barbarina, keep him on the fence, take him down, beat him up, and yeah, I think more than likely Covington by decision. Next fight here, we got Cole Miller versus Hirota. So I'm liking Cole Miller in this fight, guys. This guy has a huge reach advantage. He's taller. His hands aren't too bad. Has great submission skills, even though doesn't have really good wrestling. Hirota, this guy, I think this guy's kind of like a boxer with a little bit of wrestling, and I think he's had a pretty long layoff, I want to say. But yeah, I haven't seen too much from him lately. I know this guy's been injured not too long ago, so I think Cole Miller here should be able to win this fight. This is his last fight on his UFC contract, so you know he's gonna want to make an impression here. So I think Cole Miller should be able to win this fight, and either he's gonna win maybe by a late submission or a decision. So I'm gonna go ahead and just say Miller by decision. Next fight, Frankenstein versus Craig. So I'm liking Frankenstein here all day. Craig's a submission fighter, good submissions, obviously good on his back. But Henrique here has also, you know, obviously one of those jiu-jitsu black belts from Brazil. But he really primarily likes to stand. You know, he has really good multi, but on the ground he's serviceable pretty much. I don't see Craig taking him down here. I think this fight's going to stay on the feet, and I think Henrique is going to hurt him on the feet early. So I think Henrique here is going to get more than likely a second round knockout. So the Silva second round knockout. Next fight here, guys. Now we're on to the main card. We got Alan Jouban versus Mike Perry. I really wanted to count out Mike Perry here. I thought maybe Jouban here, you know, is probably going to pose a problem, obviously with his really good striking. But, you know what, I've been counting out Mike Perry for like 2 fights now, and I'm not going to do it this time. So I'm going Mike Perry on this fight, guys. This guy has really good power, throws a lot of strikes, looks to be improving every fight. Really good chin, super durable. And yeah, man, this guy has really good power. He beats technical fighters like he did in his last fight against Danny Roberts, who's a really good kickboxer, really good striker, and this guy was able to take him out in that third round. So pretty much if you stand in front of him, he's going to be able to hurt you, and he's probably going to win the fight. And Jouban is a stand-up fighter, so you know Jouban has been hurt before. He's been finished before by Tumanov. I don't think Mike Perry's at that level of Tumanov, you know, of the striking level, but I want to say he has just as much power or more. Mike Perry really has a lot of power, and I feel like, you know, if Mike Perry gets in close, just lands one of those right hands, it's going to hurt Jouban, and it's more likely going to be able to finish him there. So I think Mike Perry's going to win this fight. I do like Jouban striking. He's very technical, but I mean, this guy's been hurt before. He's getting older. Perry's on the come up here. Perry's on the rise. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go with the hot up and comer here, Mike Perry, and I think he's gonna get a finish. I think it's probably gonna be like a second round knockout. So Perry, second round knockout. Next fight here, guys. We got Urijah Faber versus Brad Pickett. This is Urijah Faber's last fight. He's fighting a tough guy here in Brad Pickett. What else do I gotta say about this? So yeah, obviously a tough fight. 2 veterans, and Faber here, you know, I want to say he's gonna have the wrestling advantage, but Pickett's also a pretty good wrestler. But I'll go ahead and give Faber the ground game advantage overall. But on the feet, I just feel Pickett here has the better boxing. His boxing's pretty good. Has some power, obviously, and his boxing also has a little bit of pop in those punches. So I feel Pickett here has a chance to win, even though he's a big underdog. Obviously, this is Faber's last fight, so he's coming in really motivated. Obviously, wants to get this hometown win. Usually, don't really pick too much against Faber, but I've actually picked against him in the last his last 2 fights, the Rivera fight and obviously the Cruz fight. This guy's just getting older. He's very one-dimensional with his striking. and with his overall game pretty much. You know, he really just wants to take you down, go for that guillotine, or you know, throw those overhand rights. Yeah, so pretty much what I was saying here. You know, Faber's pretty one-dimensional right now. Whereas, you know, Pickett, you know, he's kind of one-dimensional in a way, but at the same time, he has that sharper boxing style, you know, to fall back upon. And I feel him just having the better boxing here, you know, pretty much being the better striker on the feet, is going to pretty much be able to win the fight here, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and take the underdog. I'll take Brad Pickett here. I'll have him on a DraftKings lineup. He's the cheapest guy on DraftKings if you guys play DraftKings. And if you don't, check out my link in the description. Let's make some of this money, you know, with these picks. But yeah, I think Pickett here has a chance to win, being, you know, the better stand-up fighter, I would say. So I'll take Brad Pickett here to win. I think he's probably more than likely going to win a close split decision. But, you know, it's in Sacramento, so, that, you know, I want to say they're probably going to give it a favor, but I feel like Pickett's going to put up a tough fight here, and Faber's going to take some shots here. So, yeah, I'll go ahead and stick with Pickett here. Pickett by decision. Co-main event here, guys. We got Northcutt versus Mickey Gall. Yeah, I was really going back and forth on this fight, and I'm going to go ahead and take Mickey Gall here, guys. The reason I'm taking Mickey Gall is, well, this guy seems to have pretty good takedowns. Also, obviously his jiu-jitsu is his strongest part of his game. He's really good on the ground. He's going to be the bigger fighter here. This guy looks more kind of like a 185er than a welterweight. Northcutt's obviously, you know, ripped and shredded and whatnot, but I feel Mickey Gall here is just going to be a little bit bigger. Obviously, as you can see by the height and reach advantage, guy's 2 inches more in height, 3 inches more in reach. So obviously the reach here might play a little bit of factor. Obviously Northcutt here is the sharper and better striker, but I do feel that Mickey Gall does have some power in those punches, man. He has some really good ground and pound on CM Punk. Obviously that's CM Punk, but you know, I just feel like Mickey Gall is going to really showcase a lot of his skills in this fight. I think he's going to, you know, stay on the feet for a bit with Northcutt, and he feels threatened. He's going to go for that takedown, and he should be able to take him down. Northcutt has really bad takedown defense. His last opponent was supposed to get smoked, and he went to decision with him. And in some parts of that fight, his last opponent, Irene, almost caught him with arm bars or shit like that, you know, with some submissions. So imagine if that was Mickey Gall, you know. So that's all I'm saying. I feel like this is a bad matchup for Northcutt. Could be a bad matchup also for Mickey here because of the stand-up advantage for Sage. But I feel like the grappling here is gonna pretty much win Gall the fight. He says he's gonna showcase some of his hands too. I think, you know, he says he has some good hands and whatnot. But I do feel like the submission win is probably the way that Gall's going to win this fight. So I'll take Mickey Gall here to win by second round submission. So that's going to be my pick. Next fight, we got Paige VanZant versus Michelle Waterson. This is the main event here, guys. Should be a pretty good fight. Yeah, so I'm going to go to take Michelle Waterson here. So I like Michelle Waterson because she's just a lot more technical on the feet. Really good striker. Has a decent ground game also. Obviously training at Greg Jackson. She's going to be very well prepared for this fight. VanZant is very tough and durable. A lot of strike output. Unorthodox techniques like she did in her last fight, throwing that switch kick to the head. I think it was a jumping switch kick or jumping roundhouse kick. Either way, you know, she'll throw some random kicks pretty much. She's not the sharpest striker or anything like that, whereas Michelle Waterson is, and she's not the best on the ground, which also I think Waterson is in this fight. So I just feel Michelle Waterson should be able to win this fight in all aspects. She's a better striker, better on the ground, overall the better fighter. But if VanZant, you know, could withstand, you know, the early onslaught from Michelle Waterson. You know, Michelle Waterson probably wins the first 2 rounds, and then, you know, VanZant starts maybe like, you know, not getting tired. I mean Michelle Waterson more than likely starts getting a little bit tired, and that's when VanZant starts turning it up and maybe wins the 3rd, 4th, and 5th rounds. I mean, I don't know if I really see a finish in this fight because, you know, obviously these are 115 pounders. So I don't know if I really see a finish, but if I would see a finish here, it's more likely going to be Waterson getting the finish. So I also think Waterson's a better pick because obviously she has finishing potential. VanZant also has finishes, but I just don't feel like she's gonna be able to finish Waterson. So yeah, I'm liking Waterson in this fight, guys. I just feel she's gonna be the better striker. I think the fight's gonna stay on the feet. I don't think VanZant's gonna be able to take her down easily. And yeah, I think Waterson just should be able to just piece her up on the feet. So I think Waterson wins by decision, guys, or maybe a late stoppage, maybe like 5th round knockout or something like that. But I'll take Waterson by decision. Alright, guys, so that's going to be it for my picks. To recap here on the main card, I got Mike Perry, 2nd round knockout. Pickett by decision. Gall, 2nd round submission. And Waterson by decision. So that's it for my picks, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys think about the picks. Yeah, I think these picks are pretty decent. Obviously, the fights that are hard to call would be the Northcutt and Gall fight. That's a very hard fight to call there. Also the main event. This fight is also kind of a little bit hard to call, even though Waterson's the better fighter overall. But VanZant's very durable, and you know she could come back and maybe rally for a win or something like that. But I think Waterson should be able to win here and is a better fighter. But the really closest fight on the main card is the Northcutt versus Gall fight. It's going to be a clash of styles pretty much. Kind of like a striker versus grappler. So we'll see how that fight goes. Another close fight here. Actually, I think that's about it. That's like the closest fight. Also, I guess maybe the Jouban and Perry fight. That's also a very close fight because it just kind of depends, how shit goes. But I think Perry should be able to land that shot. Should be able to get that finish. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the vid, like I'm saying. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the fights. Sadly, I'm gonna be working this weekend, so I'm gonna miss them. But I'll probably watch them afterwards after I get home from work and whatnot. But yeah, I'm still gonna be playing that DraftKings, so hopefully when I come back, I'll see that money. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching, and catch you guys on the next video.